Hi, my name is Ernest Wills, and I am the owner of Claudia's Urban Gardens and the founder of the nonprofit Claudia's Urban Community Gardens. Today, what we're going to do is a demonstration on how to start your seedlings indoors. You can do this any time of the year, and for our example, for the presentation, we're going to use pepper seedlings. Now, as far as your materials, there's a few things that you're going to need. First thing that you're going to need is a basic storage shelf. You're going to want the ones that have the rack that you can hang your lights from, okay? Second thing that you're going to need are your shop lights. These lights are really cheap. You can get them in any department store. The main thing that you want to make sure that they have is 5,000 lumens and 4,000 Kelvin for the brightness that the plants need. Now, the next thing that we'll need is our potting mix. Any basic potting mix will do. And for this instance, we have basic Miracle-Gro potting mix. Now, this part is very important. The next thing that you'll need is worm castings. As you can see, I've used this bag a lot, but worm castings are very important for seedlings, and I'll explain why later. The last thing you need are your tray and your containers that you're going to put your soil in, and then finally, the water, okay? Let's get to it. First thing you're going to want to do is get your soil ready for planting. And what we're going to do is we're going to take our potting mix. And we're going to put it in our bucket. And put a good amount in there. Like I said before, any potting mix will do, as long as it's regular potting mix, because you're doing this for containers for your seedlings. All right. Hopefully you all can see that. Now, next thing, this is very important, your worm castings. The reason why the worm castings are important is because they help give nutrients to your plants, and they don't feed it too much because the plants are small. You don't want to overfeed it. It's just like giving a baby some milk. So you don't want to give a baby steak or pizza or anything like that, but milk is more than enough. These worm castings are more than enough nutrients for your seedlings. So we're going to add a few handfuls into this. What they look like. I'm gonna add a few of those into the soil mix. Now from there, we're gonna mix it all into the soil. Don't be afraid to get your hands dirty. It's one of the best parts about planting your own food and your own seedlings, is being able to get your hands dirty, okay? Add a little bit more in there. You don't have to be shy about how much worm castings you put in. But the seedlings will definitely appreciate it as they begin to grow and mature. Now, the next step is to fill up each of our containers with the soil mix. So to do that, we're just gonna fill it up right over top, and we're gonna do it all the way to the tippy top. just like that. We're gonna put that in our container. We're gonna do that for all 12. Now that our seedling trays are full of soil, we're gonna actually start the planting. Now, we're gonna plant peppers. These are Corona peppers. And what I like to do is I like to plant 2 to 3 seeds per cell. The reason why is because sometimes your seeds just don't germinate for whatever reason. So I'm going to show you how I plant. It's going to be really simple. I'm going to poke a hole, and I'm going to take 3 seedlings, put it in that hole. The hole does not need to be very deep. As you can see, that hole is barely a half an inch deep. Cover it up and gently press it down. And that's it. Now we're going to do that for all the rest of the trays. Now that all of our seeds are planted, hopefully y'all can see them. We're going to gently cover them, give them some water, and we'll be done. So I want to cover the seeds up and just gently press on the top, just to firm the soil up a little bit. Again, I can't stress enough how it's important to not plant your seeds too deep. If you plant them too deep, over an inch, they're likely to not germinate at all. They might sprout, but they won't be strong, and they might not even make it to the surface. You never want to bury your seeds too deep. If the seeds are larger, like beans or squash or pumpkin seeds, you can plant those about an inch or so deep, but no more than an inch. But your smaller seeds, you want to plant those half an inch at the most, maybe even shallower, 1/4 of an inch. All right, now that everything is all set, we're going to place it under our grow light. We're going to give it some water. Now, the important thing about watering is you want to make sure the soil is nice and moist. You can either water from the bottom, which I recommend if you can. If you have a tray where you can do that. If not, you want to give it a nice soaking every morning. Right? The soil is nice and moist, so the seeds have the water that they need. They grow under the grow light. Parents, I really want to encourage you to do this with your children, especially your young children. It gets them acclimated to the soil. They really enjoy working with the soil, putting their hands in the soil. I do this with my children, and I've done this in early childhood programs back in St. Louis, in the St. Louis area. So it's a lot of fun, and it's a good experience for them, and they'll get to see their sprouts as they begin to pop up out of the soil. Now, the peppers are going to take anywhere between 7 to 14 days to germinate. If 2 weeks pass and you don't see germination, you probably need to redo it because maybe you had some seeds that weren't quite viable. So other than that, hope you all enjoy the presentation. Hope you got something out of it. And it's very, very simple. The lights stay on the same amount of time as the sun is out. So about 8 to 12 hours a day. You leave the lights on, you can set them on a timer if you want. And the seedlings will sprout over time. And after about 4 to 8 weeks, they'll be ready to plant outside. Have a wonderful day. And remember, at Claudius Urban Gardens, we do the work, you reap the harvest. Take care. God bless.